What is the purpose of Messiah? Hi, my name is Rabbi Shmuel Kopel, and I'm about to deal with a very important question that so many people ask all the time. What is the whole purpose of Messiah? What is his goals? What is the goal of the world? Is there a difference between various different religions? If you hang on for just a few minutes, you will hear a very interesting rundown about what is Messiah, what is the purpose, and how do different religions differ. But before we go into that, I want to ask you a personal favor. If you didn't have the chance yet, please click below on the button subscribe. Once you click it, a bell will appear. Click that as well, and you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Before I begin, I want to ask a general question of why do people even want Messiah? And you're like, well, who cares why people want Messiah? He's either coming or not. But no, I want to say more importantly, why do people want Messiah? Okay, there's many religions in the world, and they all seem to have an end goal, a messianic vision. Okay, and the reason that they all have this messianic vision is because people want it. They are serving the people. I've told this to many, many people out there, and some people are surprised to hear this, but most religions out there were built because they saw a human need for a religion. So they built a religion around what you need. So if there's so many traditions that speak about an end of the world, an end of time, a messianic era, that's because you want to hear that message. So why do you want to hear that message? The simple thing is that most people experience a world that they're not comfortable with. There are certain areas of life, there's certain areas of reality, there's certain areas of the way other people act that you don't like. And you are wishing and hoping and moving towards a world that is perfect according to your vision. Now, is your vision a good vision or not? That is a good question. But that is the basis of the messianic narrative, is because you want a narrative that makes you feel that one day all of these horrible problems will cease to exist. And that is why, for example, many people speak about the messianic era about seems very vengeful, like all those evil people will be destroyed and they're going to be killed and they're going to be wiped out and only the good people will last. So what is it telling you? That thank God, one day all these crazies are gone. Okay? There's many of them that speak about control, right? One nation will control the rest of the world. Why? Because as a nationality, you feel that your nation is better than anyone else, and therefore you want to control everything else. And this is what many people want, is they want to control everything. So the messianic era and the messianic narrative in those religions that want to deal with those people have to be a narrative of we're going to control everything, or Messiah is going to control everything. But in reality, Messiah is kind of your messenger, your personal messenger, so that Messiah is really doing your job. So instead of, Messiah is going to control the world the best way possible, but of course you think you know the best way possible. And you're like, don't worry, when Messiah comes, you're going to see that I'm right and my way is going to dominate every other way in the world. That is a reason for those type of messianic narratives. Of course, we spoke about revenge and destroying evil. Now, what does it say about a religion when they portray a Messiah? Okay, so first of all, we spoke a little bit about your personal. People want a Messiah, so therefore you want a narrative that fits that makes you comfortable. But a religion has a narrative, and the religious narrative of a Messiah is actually telling you what that religion wants to do. If they say that Messiah is all about, if you follow our religion, you're going to be rewarded. If not, you're going to be out. So basically, your religion, or that religion, is all about controlling and dominating everybody else. That's all they care about. They don't care about what's right. They don't care about what's wrong. They don't care about the fact that somebody born outside of your religion never really had a fair chance to be part of your religion because they were born in a different religion. They don't care about that. They only care about controlling. They have no true feelings for justice, for what's right, for what's wrong. It's all about let's control everybody. So if that is what a religious narrative is, that if you're following our religion, you're in. If not, you're not. What about if you're following our religion officially? You're part of our church, our synagogue, our mosque, but you're a horrible person, right? You steal from people. You killed somebody. The person raped, a rapist. No talk about that. If you're with our religion, you're in the Messiah. If not, you're not. What that means is that religion is only interested in control and interested in nothing else other than control. So how your religion paints the picture of Messiah is what they are really interested in. So if your religion tells you that they're interested in justice, but then they tell you when Messiah comes, in order to be there, you have to be part of our religion, and that's it. If you're part of our religion, you're in. If not, you're out. Your religion is not interested in justice. It's interested in control and power. Now, what is very interesting to see is that there's a famous Jewish conspiracy that the Jewish nation, the nation of Israel, is out there to take over the world and control everybody, control the media, control the banks, control, right? But if you actually look at Judaism, Judaism is the only major religion that I see doesn't really have the control narrative in its messianic message. Okay? If you look at Islam, they're all about Islam will dominate the world, right? We're going to control everything. There's parts of Islam that say in the end of days, they're going to go hunt anybody that's not serving their religion. They're going to hunt them all down. So clearly, they're interested in controlling everybody. In Christianity, there's also some type of a feeling that everybody needs to follow Jesus, and that's when Messiah will going to come, which basically means that they control everything and no one else is outside of their sphere of influence, sphere of control. But in Judaism, we actually don't have that. And unfortunately, some Jewish people may misunderstand this, but the Jewish narrative of Messiah has nothing to do with control. It has nothing to do with forcing people to be part of the nation of Israel. It has nothing to do with forcing people to listen to our laws, and if not, you're going to get killed. That's not the narrative of the Jewish Messiah, and I'm about to share it. If you give me a few minutes, I'm going to share the narrative of the Messianic era from the eyes of the ancient Jewish tradition, which, believe it or not, is the origin of the Messianic narrative, at least the one that most of the world follows, comes from Judaism. In Judaism, we speak about a Messianic era where people will be enlightened. People will start understanding God. And yes, we do believe that the nation of Israel will be the center point of godly influence, but not because we forced people, not because we hunted them down with guns and knives, but because they began to see that this is where the light is coming from. And just to back up what I'm saying, I want to quote two verses in Isaiah. Okay, Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2 and 3. It says as follows, "And it shall be at the end of days that the mountain of the Lord's house," which is referring to the Jerusalem temple, "shall be firmly established at the top of the mountains, and it shall be raised above the hills, and all of the nations shall stream to it. And that's verse 2. Verse 3, "And many people shall go, and they shall say, Come, let us go up to the Lord's mountain, to the house of the God of Jacob, and let him teach us his ways, and we will go forth in his path. For out of Zion shall the Torah come forth, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem." Notice there's nothing about us telling them and forcing them to come to Jerusalem. It's all about them noticing Jerusalem, them coming and say, let's learn from this. Okay, so the Messianic era from the Jewish perspective is a time where people will be enlightened to realize deeper truth. People will want to come and to learn from the Holy Temple in Jerusalem and from the nation of Israel, who carried the biblical message for the last 3,000 years. And that is the Messianic vision. And I want to add, interestingly enough, is that many Jews say that the Jewish nation doesn't have any conspiracy to take over the world. And I'm going to tell you that that's not necessarily true. Our conspiracy is to influence the entire world, but not by force, by the power of the mind. So that we're going to teach people and show people guidance. We're going to show the people what the truth of godliness really is. Not because we want to control you, because we want you to be better, because we want you to be enlightened. We don't care who you are. We don't care if you're part of our nation or not part of our nation. I want to point out that in the quotes from Isaiah, there is no mention of the nations joining Israel. No, they're still their nations. They still maintain their national identity. There will still be countries and possibly even other governments and other governments, other nationality, other national identity, other traditions, other cultures. They will all be there in the Messianic era. We're not saying everybody's going to become Jewish. No, they're going to realize that the Jewish nation has something to offer them and has wisdom to offer them. And they're going to say, let's connect. They are going to say, I want to repeat this, okay? And I'm going to repeat this as Isaiah chapter 2, verse 3. And many people shall go up and they shall say, doesn't say we're going to force them. They're going to say on their own, come, let us go up to the Lord's mount, to the house of God of Jacob, and let him teach us his ways, and we will go forth in his path. For out of Zion shall the Torah come forth, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. These are people coming to a realization. Yes, we may trigger that realization. We may trigger that realization through teaching people. We may trigger that realization through making YouTube videos. Hint, hint. We may do many different things to trigger you to realize that you want to connect with the true, real God of Israel, the God of Jerusalem, the God that created the entire universe, the God that unites us all as one, but yet created us as individuals, because our individualism, we as individuals need separate paths because we're not all made to be the same. Every human being was created differently. They were created because they had a different purpose. Every person was created different. Every nation was created different. Every race and ethnicity was created different because each one has a purpose. And we're not here to knock down that purpose. We're here to bring out your purpose. That all of that purpose unites with a single, one force of creator that controls everything already, right? And he created you, and you want to connect with him because he's your creator, and you want to connect to him, and you're going to find your path in the Messianic era. And just to end off, I want to say that in today's day and age, we're seeing this tremendous thirst, and Isaiah mentions this as well, that people will no longer thirst for food and water, but they will thirst for the word of God. Today, we are seeing a major movement in the world where people from all over the world are starting to wake up and say, I'm not interested in business. I'm not interested in making money. I'm not interested in buying food from an expensive restaurant. I'm interested in knowing and connecting to God. And if you are one of those people that are doing that, I would suggest you to get in contact with me. I would love to speak to you and see what I can do to help. But that is going on today. People, as a matter of fact, a lot of the people that I'm working with dropped multi-million-dollar businesses because they said after a few years of doing the business, they're like, what do I need the money for? That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for money. Money, what does money do? Money buys you food and buys you drink, right? But of course, you could have less food and less drink with less money. but what is it that you're really looking for? And if you feel that you're part of this messianic awakening, which I believe is happening currently at the time I'm speaking right now, that is what you want. That is what you're looking for, is the thirst for the knowledge of God and coming closer to the truth and to the true biblical narrative as taught both in the Bible, but also as explained deeper in the Kabbalistic teachings and in many other teachings. That is the way that we as humanity will come together and unite with the Messianic vision, with the rebuilding of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, which is going to be the center of the world for spiritual connection, the center of the world for spiritual inspiration, and may it happen speedily today in our times. Thank you for watching, and if you want to curse me out for anything I said, you got the comments down there. And if you have anything good to say, I would love to hear from you as well. And please do me a favor, if you like this video, click share it with all your friends. And if you haven't done it yet, right down there, hit subscribe and join the YouTube channel so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Rabbi Shmuel Kopel here. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Have a nice day.